It's just terrific. I did see it before, and I'm glad to have seen it again.
Okay.
Now, how in the world did you get the idea for the film? It's your concept?
Yeah.
It's your story? It's from your imagination?
It's kind of a mashup of a few things that were in my imagination, and they were all true. One of them was that I found out that a cousin of mine, who I really didn't know very well, was a correctional officer, not a prison guard, and he found that he had an illegitimate son in the system. That's about as far as that story goes, but I just thought that was such an amazing thing, because not only have you not had a son in your life that you may or may not have known your father, but then it turns out that he's inside, and that you work inside. And so there's all kinds of curious things about that story, but I didn't quite know what to do with it. And then there was another element of it that I also thought was interesting that I didn't know what to do with for a long time, which was that a friend of a wonderful actress who's in my Film Street family house, Catherine Narducci, I asked her once, how did you become an actress? And she said she was a waitress in the Bronx where she grew up, and she got on a long line that was an audition call for Bronx Tale. And she'd never done it before, and she went up in front of Robert De Niro, and she said, I did a terrible job, and the next thing she knew, he called her back, and she got the part. And I loved that, because that's the truth about acting. You either have it or you don't, and sometimes the weird showbiz god up there picks you out, and it happens. So those two ideas, which I never knew what to do, suddenly came together somehow, and that became this.
Combine them in the same person.
Yeah.
He's a corrections officer, but he also wants to be an actor.
Because I always feel too that I'm interested, and I've never sat down and thought about this, but in a lot of my storytelling, I always am interested in people who are somebody but want to tap into something else inside them to go further in their life. And that was curious to me, because of what made Catherine, who was a waitress, decide to become an actress, or what made, what makes any of us who do try to do that, or what are we trying to get